Flash floods are one of nature's most destructive forces, but also one of the most incredible. From a powerful debris flow inundating a dry creek in Arizona to an overflowing river destroying trees in Yellowstone, here are 5 monster flash floods that were caught on camera. Mother Earth has many dangerous ways of letting humanity know that she is still in charge, and flash floods are one of the most prolific of them. These incredibly dangerous events are defined by the fact that they often only take minutes to happen, and in that brief time can cause unparalleled damage. One of these floods occurred in 2015 in the northernmost area of Chile.
Como el año 97, perro. Se mete la cacho,
The video showcases what is known as a mud flow, which is when an enormous quantity of water carries through undisturbed land and picks up massive chunks of it. The flash flooding that caused this mud flow was a direct product of the unseasonable rainfall Chile experienced in 2015 because of a strange cold front that came through the Andes Mountains. The National Office of Emergency of the Interior Ministry, a Chilean government agency that deals with natural disasters, has released data on these floods. In total, 27,413 people were affected. 26 people are confirmed to have died, and 101 people are still considered missing due to the rural nature of the areas hit. It is assumed the damage was done to roughly 28,000 houses, of which 105 were completely swept away. The city of Flagstaff is located smack dab in the middle of Arizona. Despite what you may think about the state, Flagstaff actually experiences a variety of weather, including snow in the winter. In the summer months, they have a different beast to contend with: monsoon rains. Back in July of 2021, the area was experiencing several weeks of drought, more typical of what you might expect from Arizona. Around the same time, wildfires broke out in various places, with one in particular occurring just 23 miles away from Flagstaff. By July 14th, the fires had died out and monsoon rains quickly developed. What do you get when you mix rain and fire debris? Powerful flash floods.
Okay, we got logs. You may want to get out of there, bub. Hey, move. Mark, what do you got on the other side?
The video was captured by the Arizona Department of Transportation and shows a mixture of mud, debris, and water as it flowed down a shallow creek. Very often, whenever these rapid floods occur, they come without warning and tear across the land in any way they wish. Luckily, the state of Arizona is rather used to events like this and have built protective architecture and drainage solutions for when these floods happen. The citizens are also used to the flooding and generally know the safest way to operate during these times. Even so, nature is unpredictable, and during this flood, several sections of the Flagstaff Trail system were closed down. Children were held in schools late to wait out the deluge, and at least 24 homes sustained serious water damage. Luckily, it seems like nobody was reported as injured or killed due to these floods. 2022 ended up being a pretty wild year for Yellowstone National Park. When you think of the park, you might envision stunning scenery and wildlife. Or perhaps you think about the deadly supervolcano lurking just out of sight. But powerful storms brought a different spectacle to Yellowstone in 2022, and it ended up causing quite the catastrophe. The rain started in June, and it didn't take long for park officials to realize they had a serious problem on their hands. The rain simply didn't stop, leading to substantial flooding, rock slides, and mudslides within the park. Large portions of the park were closed to the public after these floods, as many roads were either damaged or had to be allowed to drain naturally over time. The many rivers within Yellowstone can be seen in the video massively extending their borders, and many riverbanks collapsed entirely into the flow and were carried downstream, leaving behind broken shores. Luckily enough, it seems that there weren't many people within Yellowstone when this flooding began, and there aren't any reports of injuries or deaths from these floods. However, the dangerous road conditions and bloated rivers need to be monitored carefully as the park is opened back up to the public. In the areas of the world that are hit by monsoons, flash floods are an incredibly prevalent issue, and countries need to have a plan of action for when they occur. Even through those plans, however, it is hard to stop such massive quantities of water, especially in places that don't have a lot of money. Back in 2017, the region of Ladakh in Baltistan experienced unusual levels of rain. This, of course, led to unexpected and violent flooding, and in some instances, severe landslides. One video shot during this time shows the exact moment a powerful torrent of land, water, and debris came rushing down a mountain.
Canal up here.
Yeah, there's a canal on the side of the mountain. Oh my god. It's just a huge pool. This is really scary. Oh my god. It's so loud.
Oh my god.
The bridge is
Oh my god.
That is so crazy. The bridge totally went. That's the only road in here. No, it's the only road. That's the only road.
Oh man. Holy shit. Oh.
In this video, the true extent of what floods can do is seen as an entire forest is swept away. Someone can be heard asking if there's anybody down there, and luckily there wasn't. The property and crop damage, however, was severe. Ladakh is a region that has many century-old properties that are important to culture and heritage, and many of these sites were swept away in the flood. Crops were unable to be irrigated because the supply of fresh water was cut off, and the drinking water systems were polluted as mud and dirt were carried everywhere. Although nobody died during these floods, they were still disastrous to the people and the land involved. Hurricane Katrina was one of the most devastating storms to ever hit the United States, and a massive reason for this was because of the flooding that it brought with it. New Orleans was hit particularly badly because the city's protection system failed, with the 19-foot storm surge breaking through the city's flood walls and levees. The failure of the city's protective devices were blamed on engineering flaws. It's reported that the foundations of the flood walls did not extend deep enough underground to support the force of the water, and that man-made canals into the city allowed the storm to surge into populated areas. Overall, Hurricane Katrina is estimated to have caused over 1,800 deaths and $100 billion in property damage, with a large majority of both being due to the flooding. Since the storm, New Orleans has rebuilt its flood protection system and has improved and strengthened it over time. As a result, it should provide a greater defense against storm surges in the future. In 2018, on a small back road in Texas, a serious flash flood occurred that was quickly identified by the city's government. A blockade was put up in order to keep anyone from driving down the road, but there is very little that can be done to stop a flood besides waiting it out. Unfortunately, one school bus driver decided to tempt fate and drive through the rushing water with a child on board. The video demonstrates a rather calm ride at first, until the bus reaches the flooded road. It attempts to cross, but is swept away and begins to float downstream without any way of connecting with the road again. Luckily, the two passengers, a 12-year-old and the driver, were eventually rescued. The driver was ultimately charged with child endangerment and with driving through a barricade, which could be seen earlier on in the video. It is incredibly lucky that the child in question was not harmed, and it is good that the man in question will likely never drive another school bus again. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.